Downs Gaming and Hotel, we work extremely hard to make your experience here convenient, safe, and fun.
I love Batavia Downs Gaming.
We love it!
I love Batavia Downs Gaming.
We don't just like Batavia Downs Gaming, we love Batavia Downs Gaming.
Batavia Downs Gaming, Hotel, and Racetrack. We not only want you to like coming here, we want you to love coming here.
Folks, welcome back to the show where it is not wrestling with your budget. It is not wrestling with your conscience. It is wrestling with emotion. And let's get our crew in here. He owns a day of the week. It's Slick Saturday. He's your friend. He's my friend. He's our friend, Mr. Jake Micah. And we'll see. I guess he's still in the position for now. But the prophet, Rob Ryan, I acknowledge him. Welcome back, everybody, to this Wrestling with Emotion episode. We are on the other side of the Royal Rumble now. We are on the road to WrestleMania. So we already had our Raw after Royal Rumble. Not a ton of surprises there, I would say. Just kind of continuations of a bigger overall storyline, which might be a credit to the Triple H era and narrative as we head in. Would this be his first official Mania, or was last year?
No, last year.
Road to Mania.
Last year was.
So okay.
Was last year the Rock's Mania? Is that the other side?
That's
of it?
what I'm just saying. Like, it felt like there were a lot more management things, like playing roles.
You could have called it Cody's Mania. You could have called it Roman's Mania. So I think ultimately it was, but this one's it's gonna be the real test.
I'll eat it. He showed up. I was shocked. Massive pop. One of the biggest pops of the night and the weekend for sure. Joe Hendry, obviously, in the Royal Rumble. Thank you. David K, for chiming in there. But our Royal Rumble winners, Jey Uso and Charlotte Flair. I would say one not surprising at all. Charlotte Flair was the favorite for the women. Pretty far away the favorite. And, it's just not surprising to see Charlotte Flair win any type of match at this point, I would say. However, Jey Uso wins, climbs, grabs that brass ring as far as everything in the WWE is concerned. We've got tens of thousands of fans yeeting away. Gents, talk to me about your reactions. Obviously, we saw us on the live stream at, Sports City. We were losing our shit when Jey won, but now we've seen the fallout. We've seen the internet say, oh, we're upset, things like that. What are your feelings on that and the vibe of Jey Uso on this road to WrestleMania?
Well, I'll start that the crybabies can shut up. It feels like we have one after another year to year. I mean, we can't be pulling the strings every single time, for God's sakes. We can't have Yeselmania every single year. We got Yeetamania now, and everyone's upset. I'm really happy for Jey. I remember saying on the preview show when we were talking about our favorite wrestlers, at that moment, he was mine. Favorite to watch on a week in, week out basis. Really happy for him. I think he deserves this. And you can't be mad. Cena's going to get his opportunity. And then CM Punk fans, I know Partham was at Sports City Pizza Pub on one that when Phil got thrown out. And he was not happy the rest of the night. But, he'll get his main event at Mania, which according to him is just a match on the same stage in the same ring as Roman Reigns. So I think this worked out great. And on the women's side, we all saw it coming, like you said. So can't really be mad about that. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, Charlotte was like, I can't remember how big of a favorite she was, but it was a pretty hefty favorite going into that. I'll touch on the Charlotte thing because Monday was the crazier part of the Charlotte thing where they sent her out and just put her out there. I mean, maybe she wanted to give her like real life babyface promo, and it didn't work out for her. She just needs to be the mega heel. I think that's what Charlotte's going to be, racking up. We know that they've racked up the wins for her. She is now the first two-time women's Royal Rumble winner. That's got to be like Charlotte came back, was like, I'm winning the Rumble. I want this distinction before anybody else. And Triple H's like, okay, sure. So that makes a lot of sense. Honestly, we shouldn't be surprised by Jey because who is Jey related to? Who gets his way all the time?
Yeah.
Like, this is not a surprise at all. And honestly, Jey deserves it too. Like, if there's ever a time you're going to do it for Jey Uso, now is the time.
Yeah,
and
we've strike while the iron's hot.
Exactly. We've had situations in the past with like Daniel Bryan and Kofi, when Kofi Mania is going, like these things start as fan movements and you have to reward that. Like, otherwise we'd be I don't know. I feel like it's hard to complain when you see the arena just going insane when Jay wins. You have to remember, like, the broad thing of that. When you're going to see this at WrestleMania, regardless if he wins or not, like, that's going to be a big deal, and it makes Jey Uso. So I think it's great. I think it's a great move for them. And the Cena story, which we'll talk about throughout the night, is very interesting what position they're going with Cena. And it keeps going with Elimination Chamber, which he was already advertised for like 2 months ago. So
I will say the same people complaining about Jey Uso winning this and being in the main event of WrestleMania are the same people that complained that he was called Main Event Jey Uso for so long and not actually in main event or title pictures. Just saying.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. Prophet, what do you got?
First, I want to start off somewhere else.
Uh-oh.
The head of the table, tried to get his way on Saturday night to move the Prophet away from, myself. But however, moving on from that, some would say the Prophet won the Royal Rumble on Saturday night. He gets to keep the Prophet, he gets to move on. So I'm going to point to the WrestleMania sign, and I'm going to call out the head of the table, Michael Partham, at WrestleMania. The match details will come, but just know he's been warned.
Wow.
Okay. The warning has been issued, and I like it. Shots fired by the Prophet. But yeah, so Jay, again, I think that this is, sometimes the internet likes to act louder than reality is. And I think that's the case with the Jey Uso outrage. I think this is going to be an amazing. You want to talk about the babyface story. His babyface promo was way better. And listen, I know that Partham said he's under the weather. I just think, there was no way he was showing up to the show after that Jey Uso entrance on what are you laughing about, Slack?
The comment and the guy's name.
Yeah, the name is crazy.
Whoever it is.
Yeah, I don't think Hulk Hogan will make a comeback.
Profile picture too.
But he gets
no. The fact that he wasn't in the Rumble was surprising enough. Mustard ketchup.
The Hulkster's music.
They would have loved it, brother.
They would have loved it, brother. With that said, I know we're about 8 minutes in here, so let's start talking the rumor Mania main event, or as some are calling it, no belt necessary. But first, let's go to some train wreck trivia.
Woo.
Oh, where the hell is their thing? And turn.
Batavia down is more, lots more.
If there weren't 500,000 videos flying around in the assets, maybe it'd be a little easier. With that said, Trainwreck Trivia presented by Batavia Downs. Let me double check my facts on this one here. Obviously, Batavia Downs is the place to win more, lots more. As we talk the WrestleMania main event, WrestleMania 23 was held in Detroit, Michigan, 2007. Who did Shawn Michaels defeat 18 years ago today to earn the right to challenge for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania? This is on a Raw, February 5th, 2007. Shawn Michaels won a triple threat match on Raw to earn the right to challenge John Cena, the WWE Champion, at WrestleMania. Who did he defeat?
So it's two people.
I think
two people.
It's
Triple H.
Too obvious, Slick.
I feel like we gotta think about Randy Orton maybe around here. Maybe Edge. Those could be names that are in this match. I don't know about
answer is Randy Orton and Edge. Micah nails it. Takes it out. Rated RKO.
Wow.
So I don't know if they were a tag team at this point.
No, because that was DX. That was DX versus Rated RKO, like the very end of that kind of feud. And I think that was the whole deal, was Michaels outnumbered against the guys they've been kind of feuding with.
All right, we got Mustard Ketchup Man is on board. That's huge. And thank you, Batavia Downs, for being on board for all of our content as well. An awesome teammate. No one we would want to take out in a triple threat match. But with that said, speaking of triple threat matches, gents, Rollins, Reigns, Punk is the rumor right now for the main event at WrestleMania 41. That's pretty crazy to me. No belt. We're at this point right now. I'm not saying it needs a belt. I'm just shocked that in this situation, one of them doesn't have a belt.
I don't think they get main event spot over one of the titles.
Yeah, but like, I've got a theory here.
I've got a theory here. I think that them leaking this out we should be wary of why this specific match is getting out, because the real triple threat that makes sense at this point, if we're talking about this favor that we're talking about with CM Punk, the real triple threat that makes sense is Cena wins Elimination Chamber, Punk uses his favor to get into the WWE title match, Cena, Punk, Rhodes for the title, and then Rollins Reigns one-on-one. I think that's the direction we're actually going to end up. And they're leaking this out there to kind of get everybody off their scent of what this Punk Cena interaction will end up being. But I don't think it's an accident. The first two people in Elimination Chamber announced are John Cena and CM Punk either. And those are guys we want to see cross paths, right? Like fans of CM Punk and John Cena want to see this one more time involved with each other somehow. And you got to do it sooner than later. Like in Cena's last year, Punk could get hurt on a random Raw. Like at this point, like who knows? I'm not even trying to talk shit. Like it's happened multiple times. So if you want to get this match in the way or get them in some sort of Mania match, that makes sense. And Rollins and Reigns don't need CM Punk in a WrestleMania match. Like as much as that would be a fun match, and if it's not for a title, a triple threat match is really weird for like a blood feud because it's like, oh, I'm going to pin one guy and not do unless it's like elimination or has some stakes. It doesn't make sense. So I think this is a little bit of a misdirection, honestly. I really do.
I love the misdirection take, and I agree with you that like a blood feud is tough to do as a triple threat, but those three outside the ring on Saturday night looked like they wanted to rip each other's skin off. Like it was like intense between the Roman yelling at Punk, between Rollins, the curb stomp from Rollins to Reigns, the first one. The first one on the ground, he got double heel on the fucking head before he slammed it down, dude. It was so gnarly. And then you have everything else looking at Heyman before he did the second one. But yes, Cinema, I think these three would definitely be able to cook in this spot. But let's use this as a little transition point to talk John Cena as well. Because like we said, the 16-time champion has been. We got to look at Micah's keyboard. I was gonna say, just in case you thought Micah was hacking in the chat, he's playing fair, guys. Don't worry. But we got John Cena already in elimination. Again, this is like, you might as well just announce Cena for every main event of everything for this year, right? I mean, that's how it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he said he's got about 40 appearances. He's only done one so far, or two so far. So we got 38 more to go. So
40 would be crazy at this point. The pace he's on. I don't know. He'd have to start showing up in like Tulsa, Oklahoma on a Saturday night or something. I don't know.
Event.
Oh, dude, he would have to be doing house shows for sure.
At the rate he's going, he has to be on like the main event of every PLE. I mean, dude, he came up on the Netflix debut, said I'll be back when the Rumble happens. Went to the press conference after the Rumble, after being the second last guy in there, after coming in at 23? Not even that bad for the shape you were in, probably, and says, "See you at the Chamber." Like, I deserve the spot. I'm on a politic now. Was it you that made that point, Micah? Yeah. Like now, you know what? I'm kind of mad that I was just in the final two of the Rumble, and now I only may have one more shot at the main event of WrestleMania. Now I'm a politic. I'll see you guys at the Chamber. So
I thought using
up 3 times this year at the rate he's going, he's got to wrestle in every main event of a PLE.
I thought using the term "best for business" was a great piece of work.
Oh, that was
well done.
Because that was the time where I was like, okay, I know what he's going for. So like, I don't think John showed up 40 times. I think he's gonna show up like 15 times. I think that's what he's working on. I think that if this is gonna be a heel John Cena thing, he's telling us he's gonna be the workhorse, and then he's gonna show up like on Roman Reigns time. And I think that's going to be the appeal, especially if it's a feud with Cody. The feud with Cody would be very interesting for the promos and stuff they could go for. So,
should we do the obligatory that he already did his appearances? We just didn't see him.
Hey,
I mean, I thought the iShow speed segment was pretty fucking funny. Like, and I know it's the most overdone joke.
He's on a heater.
Like, that was on a heater for sure. Very good.
I'm pretty sure Kai did that on his stream too when they had him in his house.
Yes.
And like, he was right next to them and no one could see him. And then he took his hat off and everyone was like, "Oh, there he is."
Yeah.
Like, it made no sense, but it was funny.
So out of curiosity, 40 appearances, obviously doesn't mean 40 matches, but let's use that as an opportunity. for some more Batavia Downs train wreck trivia.
Batavia Downs. More, lots more.
What date, if I rewound 40 matches in John Cena's career, if I went back 40 matches, what date do you think it is? 40 matches ago.
That's a good question. Wow.
For reference, he had one match in 2024. He's been in one match in 2025, and he had 8 matches in 2023. So that's 10 to get you back 3 years.
I want to say it's like
July 17th, 2017.
I'm around there.
I was gonna say 16.
I'll go with profit
40
there,
matches ago, John Cena was defeated in a house show at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, on December 27th, 2018, and he was defeated by Daniel Bryan.
What a night! What a night!
Wow. What a coincidence! It was in the Coliseum versus Daniel Bryan, who has the yes chant, and the goal celebration for the Islanders after they score goals is the yes chant.
Oh, I did not know that we were gonna go Islanders with that. I thought we were
Wait,
gonna do some WWE lore or something. Like, I would have absolutely cut that off earlier if I knew that was going, but that's okay. What do you guys want to get to next here on the program?
I mean, we talked about speed. Can we just? What about that spear? Holy crap!
Yo, that was amazing.
Like WWE has like the thing I was trying to explain, I forget who it was at Royal Rumble or at Sports City, but this is trademark WWE. As much as they want to have great matches and everything, they want their big moment that everyone's talking about. Now, traditionally, 10 to 15 years ago, that was Snooki at WrestleMania, as silly as it sounds. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. But now it's iShow Speed getting I know WWE uses hyperbole. Is it really possible that this is the biggest Royal Rumble clip of all time, like they said?
I think it is, yeah.
I believe it based on who was watching his at the time, who will watch it after, just based on his name, and then WWE fans alone at the time and already. So it's already up there.
It's so funny though. I would believe it because it makes total sense. Royal Rumble was one of the biggest things happening at that point, and iShow Speed is literally the biggest streamer on the planet. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
dude's so the mayor of Portugal for a day.
It's not crazy, but literally, yeah, that's ridiculous. But speaking of ridiculous, it's just everything the WWE does is the biggest or the greatest, or so it just kind of numbs you up a little bit when they use that terminology.
And of course, and they've never lied about numbers either.
They've never lied about numbers. Of course not. They would be crazy too, for sure.
You don't think they're calling it the biggest next year when they're in Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble?
Oh man,
it's I think they're gonna go
the greatest, the strongest. It's gonna be the Bianca Belair.
Is there any odds they go 50 guys when they go to Saudi just because they were 40 last time?
Yeah, they are gonna
do something crazy
or damn near I could see 45, but that would be wild.
The funny thing though is versus when it was Braun Strowman just tying the record for most eliminations, I think Triple H should be a little bit more wary of the Rumble lore, since people look at that stuff because in a 50-man Royal Rumble, if Reigns is there, you could easily eliminate 15 to 20, right?
For sure.
Speaking of drama, let's go into we had at the end of Raw, CM Punk defeats Sami Zayn. I think all of us saw this coming. We had CM Punk at minus 500 in the pre-show. But Kevin Owens, wearing a Sami Zayn Forever shirt, of course, attacks and probably does the most vicious thing to anybody I've seen not involving a weapon. Is that possible?
Yeah, that package pile driver is,
bro. Not just the the dude had flubber in his shoes before he jumped. He jumped up a foot.
It's
now, obviously, yeah. Sorry.
It looked like on a trampoline when you do a butt bounce.
Yes.
He jumped up ready to do a butt bounce. It was crazy.
I mean, it was outstanding. It was crazy. It does throw me off now with the credits on Netflix, because it's not the brand thing. So it happened, and it's executive producer Paul Levesque. It's what the fuck? If some of us did it, but yeah,
you allowed this.
Nobody does an unhinged attack on Sami Zayn like Kevin Owens.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, it's been going on for like 15 years.
It's happened what, like 5 times already?
Yeah.
at least.
Just in WWE, at least for
Yeah.
sure. And we're probably just main roster, honestly. But what do you guys want to see?
And it hits
this round?
it hits
That's
every time.
That's the crazy
Every
thing.
time.
They have spaced it out enough to where it just every time for some reason
Yeah.
it goes nuts. But Micah, I know you just want to mute. I don't know, but I know you're a little bit invested in the lore of like, Generico versus Owens, everything like that. What are you looking for out of this iteration as they potentially go? This could be WrestleMania again.
It's just cap it all off. They needed a WrestleMania match against each other at some point, and they're going to get so much time. I guarantee it's going to be some sort of extreme match in some way. They have to do something like that. They can't be just a straight singles match. Like there's going to be some crazy elements to it. I'm sure this is probably what they've been waiting for their whole lives. Honestly, they probably talked about this for the last 10 years at least since they showed up to WWE. So I'm sure that whatever twist, they're going to have twists and turns the whole way through. I tried to make this point the other day. The thing is Kevin's going to be able to position this in a way where Sami, like he does this all the time. He's going to gaslight people into the way where Sami's in the wrong. And Sami is fucked up a lot. Like siding with Roman and the way he's did all that with doing it again after what him and Kevin went through. Like he is going to have to like answer to Kevin for that. Kevin has a real reason to feel betrayed. Now, Kevin's a psychopath going around attacking people, and that's where his heelness comes in. But they're going to be able to humanize this in a way where you're going to be like just invested to see whatever happens. And I'm sure Kevin Owens is going to do some more extremely dastardly things to Sami Zayn as we get towards WrestleMania. But they're going to do something special at Mania. I have no doubt about that. This card, like the way this card shapes up for Mania, it's one of the strongest like singles matches that we could have, like sets that we could have. And adding this as like a blood feud undercard thing is huge. I can't wait to see it.
Boys, any thoughts?
No, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, nothing else to really say.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
That was pretty well summed up.
I would love to see like an Extreme Rules match out of them or something.
Yeah,
We need
my
a
only
stipulation.
nervousness is that most of what Micah just said could also be applied to Jay and Jimmy Uso. And we were all building up to that WrestleMania match, like, oh, these guys have been planning it out for 15 years. Like, they're gonna have all kinds of
these two can wrestle a little bit.
And they wrestle. I agree. Their styles are a little different for sure.
That's
and
like the biggest issue with people that have with Jay on the internet is because it's a lot of the internet fans who just are work rate match, good matches, moves, all that stuff. And Jay don't have moves, but it doesn't matter. Jay don't need moves. Jay needs a super kick, a Samoan splash, a Samoan, drop, a bad spear, and people are going to cheer for him. It doesn't matter. Why would you don't work smarter, not harder, bro? Like Jay has everybody in the palm of his hands, and that's the biggest thing. So, but yeah, I do see where you're coming with that, where it's wary, and then they get like 18 minutes at WrestleMania, and it's like a 3.5-star match, and where like that's what Kevin and Sami had. But I don't think they'll do that. I think they would be able to just to pull something out of it, and maybe it's just the start. Maybe this is like a year-long odyssey that they're going back and forth with each other. It's not just a WrestleMania thing, too.
All right, I know what I want to see. I want to see a street fight where they go to the back, classic, like they can go everywhere or whatever, 20 to 25 minutes. But during this street fight, I want like Kevin Owens to like throw like Sami Zayn into like a WWE equipment bin, and he goes like head first in. And when he comes out, he's got the red luchador mask on. And it's like, because he just like felt like that's the only way you can really get one on him on WWE TV. I think that would be pretty good. Come on.
That would be awesome.
A Las Vegas Strip street match.
Or okay.
Bro, honestly, now you're like they did something like that, and they're just out in the strip fighting. Now
Vegas
you're
Strip
talking.
street match. Now we're talking. Maybe
profit. That's a profit. That's a profit move right there. I'm locking that in. He saw the future there.
I like it, and this might sound even crazier because I know they want to do it live in front of a crowd. Cinematic Las Vegas Strip street fight match like would allow you to do a lot more as far as like the spots and like the payoffs and everything like that. I don't know.
But they could always start it cinematically and then have the thing where they like bust into the arena and then all of a sudden they're fighting like in the concession stands and stuff like that. And then you have like half a match in the ring.
They go to the back, cut to the pre-tape, they come back out like after. Yes. I just think that there's something they could definitely, a lot of things they could take advantage of. Let's do it and let's make it beyond memorable in that regard. Speaking of memory, one person who just doesn't seem to want to get over anything is going to be in it forever. Drew McIntyre. Thoughts, boys?
I mean, it's just like I feel like it's we talk about CM Punk like doing this shit. It's actually Drew McIntyre doing this. If it's true reports, him walking out because he's angry, like it's hypocrite much. He's literally doing what Punk literally did years ago. Like I don't get it.
I mean, I wouldn't read into this much. I saw a lot of people catch this or seemingly catch this live. Obviously, that was not Maniac or I in the status that we were in at Sports City Pizza Pub. But a lot of people did seem to pick up on the LA Knight stuff in the ring.
I definitely knew it looked jumbled, but I just thought somebody made a mistake. I thought somebody made a mistake. It was in the wrong spot, that's what McIntyre's mad at. And then they had the fallout. Just to jump on. Who was it? Maven or whatever was saying like the only things they care about in the Rumbles are like their elimination spots and like when they get eliminated. Like, and so that's like when everyone should be on alert. Like, and he's saying they messed that up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was just people in the ring that weren't all supposed to be in the ring at the same combo at the same time. And you should be rightfully frustrated. I mean, that's one of the biggest stages you work for, biggest moments of your career all year. And for it to be messed up, not that bad. I mean, I don't think it made him look bad by any means. So in any sense, I can get why he was frustrated as a worker. And I can also get why he's frustrated if the rumors of his WrestleMania spot are true.
Well, that's
I wouldn't read too much into this. And it's seemingly he was backstage at Raw last night. So I don't think there's too much to read into.
Well, that's what I feel like is that's what I feel like the biggest thing is it was going to be a musical chairs for WrestleMania spots. We knew that. Like there was only so many big matches to go around. It would make sense, if Roman Reigns just decided to wrestle McIntyre, like the direction they could just go towards, and then we could do Punk and Rollins. It would make a lot of sense. But clearly, Roman wants to be involved with CM Punk or whatever's going on there. So Drew is just kind of the guy left out on the outside looking in. He could have been a guy that won the Rumble too, but he's not as over as Jay. Like there's it's all these different things working against McIntyre. He did do great work with Punk in that feud last year, but that's also last year at this point. And who's the bigger star coming out of that feud, bro? It's not McIntyre. Like the Punk was the bigger star coming out of it, whether like he can admit that or not. And so that's why Punk's getting these big spots. And it's just kind of how the cookie crumbles sometimes for WrestleMania. Not everybody can have a main event match. So him and Priest is going to be, it'll be fine. But I could see why he wouldn't be happy and thrilled with it. Like these guys want to be in title matches, so
that's fair. But Damian Priest also, in my opinion, had a top 5 non-title match of the past 3 years when him and Bad Bunny threw down in Puerto Rico at Backlash. That was cinema. Now I know it was the reactions of the crowd, everything that made it, but that'll be WrestleMania as well. WrestleMania, wowie! I really want to go. With that said, any other thoughts on McIntyre here? I mean, I don't feel bad. Like he's making millions wrestling, performing. He's clearly doing what he wants. It's just I don't know. I just wonder if he'll ever get his window again to be like champion in front of a crowd, which he never really got. Around COVID.
And then he did get it and then got his dreams ripped away in seconds via Phil and Damian Priest. So life comes at you fast.
Life does come at you fast there, so you got to be careful. With that said, speaking of being careful, make sure you're careful not to waste your money at any other entertainment joints or anything where you can't win lots more. Make sure you are getting to Batavia Downs, the region's premier entertainment destination, as we kind of wind down here on Wrestle with Emotion. We got a Dynamite tonight. I know we're 30 minutes in and haven't mentioned it, but we have said it's hard. Royal Rumble is it's like a Thanksgiving. Like it's something that kind of consumes everything on the way to something bigger for sure. But
great analogy, Maniac.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. AEW Dynamite has been decent lately, entertaining.
Yeah,
I agree.
I was not too impressed with last week's card, but yeah. Other than that, I think getting Ospreay and Kenny back on TV helps a lot. I think Hurt Business tag titles helps a lot.
Hurt Syndicate. Damn.
Yeah, my bad.
Thank you, Prophet.
Timeless Tony helps a lot. So you have all these big factors that were what was working for them once, and stuff isn't working now, and they're kind of realizing it, and they're trying to go back to it. This is the card we have for tonight. Hangman.
Thank you.
I mean, Hangman live, MJF live, and then Strickland Ricochet is a great main event. Obviously, they've been having some beef the past couple weeks. The Ospreay and Don Callis family stuff. I mean, yeah, you got some big stuff here, and you're gonna hear from Cope as well.
Oh, we're gonna hear from Cope. Thank
We're
goodness.
gonna hear from him,
I like that. Is there any rumor? What do you guys think of the speculation that it could potentially be Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page uniting to take down the Death Riders?
I love that.
Over my dead. You know what did Parthy say that one
Over
time
my
about
dead
The
body.
Rock? What did he say? He'd have to fall off a cliff or something. I'm saying the same thing for that to happen.
What's
what
Hangman
happened?
What's Hangman looking for him, Lord? Though,
Rob, do you remember what happened when Partham said that?
Yeah, it was about Cody getting the main event back or shit like that.
And it fucking happened.
It happened
yeah.
like 4 days later.
Yeah, so I would get a little off your high.
Speaking of that, is that coming up? When's the tonight, tomorrow?
what?
What?
Press conference?
That happened.
No, the WrestleMania one.
WrestleMania
if
one
they
is
announced one,
Saturday.
did they?
I believe it's
they
Saturday.
did announce one, okay.
I believe it's
Oh,
Saturday.
right. Gotcha.
I didn't realize they were doing one again. Okay, nice.
Yeah, they were. I actually am glad because we would have been there, but it wouldn't have even been happening when we were there. So we wouldn't have even been there for it. So that would have been
Everything happens for a
disappointing.
reason there.
Seriously, a reason for the season. Now I will say here, and people love to get like all out of sorts about these Dynamite graphics. Why do I feel like this is a big missed opportunity to not have Don Callis's hand and not showing behind the translucent like character? Isn't he the invisible hand? Like,
yeah, wait, what do we
you're right.
I mean,
And-
clearly the graphics guy just doesn't. He's not a mark.
he doesn't watch AEW. He outsources it. With that said,
Yeah.
a member of the Don Callis family. This gives me the vibe of like a WWE heavyweight champion will be appearing, like, and it's
You know
Jinder
who this
Mahal.
You know who this is gonna be? A returning
no.
Trent Beretta. That's who it's gonna be. I can't like he is in the Callis
Oh,
family.
you're
It's
so
going-
right because he joined right before
Yeah, and
he
then he
went
got
off
hurt.
out of action, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be returning Trent Beretta. That's my guess.
Oh man. Well, so
And
who are the other
match won't
options?
matter as much, but just the fact that they have 5 guys. Like,
Who
on
are
their
your
team
other
to
options?
do.
Because Kanosuke and Fletcher are right up there.
So it's the other options are it's either Archer or Brian Cage. They just did that match last week, didn't they? Brian Cage with Ospreay? So
yeah,
maybe
and
it's Lance Archer.
was ringside
Yo,
too.
if
so
Lance
it would be
Archer
a bit-
just comes out there and they did this little fake, like, oh, who's it gonna be from the Callis family? Maybe it's just Don. Maybe Don straps up. the
Maybe,
boots.
yeah.
If
Yeah,
they're
that's
all
right.
in the building, they should all do like entrances where they come out like on the stage like separately, like so you get the full music hit and like reaction. Like that would be good. Like let's chum it up a little bit for sure. Let's have some fun. But yeah, I mean, I look at this card, like it's just funny you mentioned like Trent Beretta. Like I forgot about the feud with like Orange Cassidy and him kind of like
Mhm.
like unfortunately, like a lot of things in AEW over the last 2 to 3 years kind of like led to nothing. Like
Yeah,
unfortunately.
they just had to like ditch. They had to ditch a lot of things that
Yeah.
started to like pan out. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead, Micah.
No, go ahead.
That was all I was gonna say.
know.
Really.
Yeah, no, that was
But this is,
MJF appearing live. This should be, I mean, no doubt, this should be like a 10-minute plus segment of him on the mic at least, right? Like, let's stick with what works.
yeah, him
It's
and
a lot of
Jeff
people
Jarrett just yelling at each
live. I
other.
don't know.
A lot of people who had no idea what their plan was for Dynamite, so they just said, they're appearing live. They'll be
Okay,
on the
appearing
show
live.
at some point.
Is MJF still doing the Jeff Jarrett stuff?
Yes.
Like,
I think he's gonna retire Jeff Jarrett. I feel like that's where we're going with that, right?
and then
Like, that's the only
then
way
so
to
what
do it.
direction does Hangman go tonight? And I love how I do like with Dynamite when they say all these people will appear. They were doing this during the Hangman Swerve feud quite a bit, where even like if it would say they're appearing separately, like sometimes they would just end up on a mic battle together. So some of these people could be very well interacting. You know, you've seen Hangman and MJF run into each other a couple times backstage.
I mean, you'll probably see rated FTR and
The Death
Hurts
Riders.
or Death Riders. I mean,
I was gonna say there's no Death Riders on that card at all, right?
Yeah, but you already know
They're gonna
they
be
gotta
around.
like
Like,
start
that's
the
what I
show
mean.
or something, or like have their segment. So we'll see, or like literally kill someone backstage. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm guessing Ricochet and Swerve took turns into a little bit of an overbooked madness where Hangman shows up, maybe the Hurt Syndicate shows. Like, I feel like it's not going to be just those two with a clean finish. And I think Ricochet's probably going to win, honestly. Probably by stabbing him with something, but he's probably going to get the win.
Is that some Don Callis family like activity that you're hinting at there?
Well, they're just those scissors, bro. They just scare me when he's like,
Yeah, I saw
threatening people with scissors on AEW television.
I saw someone like, what is Ricochet like hanging out with the Acclaimed backstage or something?
New member.
Those weren't even safety scissors. I think he was running with them too.
Dangerous backstage in AEW. We know this.
Oh yeah, we know this.
Not as dangerous as it used to be, but yeah.
No, they've saved
people feared for their lives.
Yeah.
I'll just never get over Phil just walking out of the tunnel like right after he fucking did all that shit, dude.
Cockiest look on his face.
I've watched that match so many times because it's so funny in retrospect.
Dude,
it's such a good match too, and they're just going off, and you just know Phil like.
Dude, that was like the first. That was like the first Pepsi plunge in like years.
Yes.
And it ended the match, and then Phil's just like, "Yeah, I'm the shit." Walks out, he's like, "I'm never coming back."
Walking out with a title, knowing you're not losing the title, and that you basically
with the ones up. He threw
with the ones up that with that you know that you just like basically like ended your career at the company is like so fucking funny. I'm sorry,
insane.
Hey, Prophet, we keeping you entertained here?
You know. Prop's a little bored, AEW, it's all right, but they got to pick up their shit.
What would you do, Prophet?
Yeah, you're Tony Khan, and you can book one thing, one aspect of one storyline.
Well, I would actually get, competent people to fight the Death Riders, bring them down. Maybe John Moxley starts taking more power like he said he was supposed to. That would get the people watching, if John Moxley's running the show.
Yeah, I will say they always make it like John Moxley's like controlling stuff, but he's never done anything actually like during the show.
Yeah,
I'll never forgive the taking over the Superstation. That's where I got jumped off the Death Rider bandwagon there. He brought. I don't even know who that tag team was. I couldn't even tell you their name. The Iron something Savages.
Iron Savages.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Exactly. Who is that? That's who took that. He took over the Superstation by beating one of them up with a chair. Like, what are we doing here?
Did it. It's that simple. But folks, it is that simple to stay up to date with everything wrestling with our podcast. Make sure you're following on all platforms. Gents, any final thoughts before we sign off for this Dynamite Wednesday?
It's Wednesday. You know
what that means. Make sure you're following everyone. Make sure you're following Prophet, Slick L, Micah, and myself. Make sure you're following, again, at WrestleW on all platforms, because it's not the show where it's wrestling with your budget. It's not the show where it's wrestling with your conscience. It is wrestling with emotion.
Brother, you gotta take that fantasy booking shit somewhere.
Yeet.